Hey there, everybody. How's it going? And welcome to another game with the Baseball Replay Journal. We got the New York Yankees of the Washington Senators here back in 1949. And the Senators are 0-10. The Yankees are 7-2, and at the moment are in first place. So, you know, something's got to give. Here's Phil Rizzuto. Scooter comes up there. 1-1 the count on Scooter. And there's a little pop fly back behind the plate, out of play. 1-2 now. Calvert's ahead. And it's 2-2 now. Paul Calvert comes in, 0-1 record. And there's a little ground ball to Kozar at second base, makes the play over to first base for the out. Calvert has a 1.57 ERA, 11.57 so far in his one start. And, of course, he lost that game. And 1-2 now is the count on Tommy Heinrich. And there's another ground ball over to Kozar at second base. He makes the play at first for the out. 2-away. Here comes Cliff Mapes. Mapes, of course, having a great season. 333 so far. 1-1 is the count on him. 3 home runs for Cliff. 2-1 is the count on him. And that one's driven deep to center field. And Vollmer's going back, slipping, and makes the catch for the third out. We go to the bottom of the first. And here is Vic Raschi. Vic Raschi's 2-0 on the season so far, pitching very well. And when I say something's got to give, I think you have an idea of what is going to give in this game. But you never know. Every game is a little bit different. 3-1 now the count on Bud Stewart. And there's a foul ball to play, full count on him. There's a ground ball over to Coleman at second base, makes the play over to Heinrich at first for the out, 1 away. Here is Eddie Robinson. You can notice that I have Stewart now hitting the leadoff hole for Washington as Robinson's on there with an 0-2 count. Robinson's hitting well too, but not quite as well as Stewart. And Robinson lines that one out to Eddie Bauer in right field, 2 away. Here's Al Evans. And there's a strike in the outside corner, and there's a ball, 1-1, the count now on Evans. There's a fastball inside, 2-1 now the count on him. There's another one inside, and it's 3-1 now on him, and that'll be Fulmer on deck if Evans reaches. And instead, he pops one out to Coleman at second base, and that's the third out. We go to the top of the second. Here's Gene Woodling. He takes a strike, 0-1 the count on him, and there's a ball, 1-1. And there's another strike, 1-2 now on Woodling. There's one popped up to the left field, and Stewart's got that for the out, 1 away. Here's Jerry Coleman. And there's a strike to Jerry. And fouls one off at the plate. 0-2 now the count on Coleman. He grounds another one over there to Kozar, and Kozar, unfortunately, is eaten up by this one. It's going to be a base hit for Jerry Coleman, and that is the first hit of the ball game. And here comes Yogi Berra, and the Yankees might blow this one open quickly. Berra takes a strike, 0-1 the count. And there's a ball, 1-1 now the count on Yogi. And there's a sinker for a strike, 1-2, and another foul. And there's a sinker that's low, 2-2 now the count. There's a ground ball up the middle, and Kozar ranges behind the bag, unable to get to that one, though. That's a base hit. Kozar's lack of range really hurts him there, and instead of a double play and out of the inning, now you have runners in first and second with only the one out. And here's Hank Bauer, and this is where that New York Yankee lineup can really come to haunt you because unlike other teams, the number 7 hitter in this lineup is very good. 1-0 now the count on Hank, and it's 1-1. 3 home runs for Bauer so far this season. He lines one over to right field, right to Lewis, and boy, I tell you, the Senators really got away with one there, and that's the second out of the inning. And here's Bobby Brown hitting 138 on the season, and known more for his glove than his bat. And there's a little sinker over bouncing right in front of Lewis in right field for a base hit, and Coleman is going to round third, and we're going to try to catch him at the play. There's a throw home, and he is out on a close play, and that's a double play for the Senators, and a double play. That is the third out, and maybe that's the play that the Senators need to spark them here in this game. 3 hits for the Yankees and no runs scored, and we go to the bottom of the second inning. And here's Clyde Fulmer, who takes a strike. And that one's off the play, 1-1. Fulmer hitting 342 so far this season. And there's a swing and a miss on a letter high fastball, 1-2. There's a fastball high, 2-2. That one's fouled off to the right, still 2-2. And there's a strike 3 swing. Vic Raschi gets him hunting for that one. First out here in the bottom of the second. And here's Al Kozar. And there's one off the corner for a strike. And there's a line drive right to that right side. And Tommy Heinrich picks that one off. And that's the second out. And here is Sam Dente. There's a strike on him, 1-1 the count now, and he swings and misses at a high fastball, 1-2. And there's a ground ball over to Brown to third base. He makes the play to first. We go to the top of the third. Here's Vic Raschi, 2-0 now the count on Vic, and now it's 3-0 on him. And there's ball 4 on Raschi, and Calvert has lost him as the first walk of the game issued by Paul Calvert. And that brings up Phil Rizzuto. Phil Rizzuto pulls the ball over to the left side to Dente, over to Kozar, and then to Robinson for the double play. And just like that, 1 pitch, 2 outs. And here is Tommy Heinrich, who takes the ball, now a strike. And strike 2 on him, 2 outs here, top of the third, no score. And that's a base hit that drops right in front of Lewis, who probably could have made the catch, but instead lets the ball drop in front of him for the hit. Cliff Mapes now, 1-1 the count on Cliff. And there's a sinker, 1-2, and he takes another sinker. This one just off the plate. He swings and tips that one, 2-2 now. And then Mapes ends up striking out on that one. He got a tip on it, but not enough, and that ends up being caught by the catcher, Evans, for the strike. And we go to the bottom of the third inning, and here's Buddy Lewis. And there's a line drive over to right field, over to Bauer, makes the catch, one away. Here is Eddie Yost, a little ground ball over to Coleman for the second out as he makes the play at first. Here's Paul Calvert, and 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning, just like that. 2-0 the count now on Paul. There's a strike, 2-1. There's a little pop-up to the left side, and Gene Woodling's there in left field to make the catch, and that does that. We go to the top of the fourth inning, still no score. And Gene Woodling promptly hits one deep to, was a left center field, in between Stewart and Fulmer for a double, and he stands on second base now after one pitch here in the top of the fourth. Jerry Coleman's up there now, and there's one low for a ball, 1-0 the count on Jerry. That one's down to the dirt as well, 2-0 now. There's a attempted bunt, and it ends up being Calvert making the play, flips over to Robinson for the out, and that gets Coleman at first. Woodling moves up to third, and here comes Yogi Berra. And, boy, you don't really want to walk Berra here because then you have to pitch to Hank Bauer again. And my biggest question is, do I pull the infield in or not? And we are going to pull the infield in. And there's a sinker low for a ball, 1-0. Ground ball down the first base line, foul, 1-1 on Berra. There's a chopper over to second base, and it's Kozar who looks Woodling back to the bag and makes a play at first, and they're 2 away now for Hank Bauer, runner on third base. 2 outs here, top of the fourth inning, no score. 2-0 now the count on Hank. There's a foul ball to the screen, 2-1. There's one hit on the line over to Stewart in left field, and he makes the out just like that. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning, still no score. And here's Bud Stewart, and he takes a strike. Stewart reaches for that one, and he dumps a little flare right in front of Mapes that drops for the first hit for Washington in this game. And that brings up Eddie Robinson now with Stewart on at first, and we're going to run him. Let's see what happens. And there's a foul ball at that first hit and run attempt. And that next one is a little blooper that just gets beyond Phil Rizzuto. And Stewart is rounding the corner at second base. We're going to send him to third. And he's thrown out of third. He's thrown out of third by a good play by Woodling. That was a little bit aggressive probably on my part, but the Senators haven't won a game this year. They're 0-10. Might as well be aggressive. Al Evans takes the ball now, swings and misses at a strike. And there's a little pop-up towards short, and Rizzuto is able to get to that one, and that's the second out. And here is Clyde Fulmer. Takes a strike and then takes another one. No, just the one strike, 0-1. Now it's 1-1. I guess the first play was the throw to first. And there's a ball that just misses 2-1 now. Now it's 2-2. There's a pop-up in foul ground, and Henrik has that one for the out there on the right side, and we go to the top of the fifth, still no score. Bobby Brown now, and he takes a strike, a good slider in there for a strike, another slider there, 0-2, and that's a slider just low, and there's a little ground ball to the left side, and it gets through Eddie Yost for a base hit for Bobby Brown. And here comes Vic Raschi, runner on first base, nobody out, top of the fifth inning, no score. That one's fouled off and as a bunt at the plate for a strike, and there's another strike taken by Raschi, 0-2 the count on him. Swung on and missed, and Calvert gets him for the strikeout. Second strikeout of the game recorded by Paul Calvert, and that's the first out here in the top of the fifth. Here comes the scooter, Phil Rizzuto, who grounded into a double play last time, fouls one off, 0-1 the count on him. The ground ball to the right side to Kozar, over to Dente at second, across to first for the double play, and the Senators pulled it off again. No score for the Yankees. They strand yet another base runner. We go to the bottom of the fifth inning, no score. Here's Al Kozar. And there's one that misses inside, 1-0 now the count on Al, and that one's in there for a strike right down Broadway, 1-1. And there's a base hit that goes all the way down to, that was to center field, right? Mapes not able to get that one. Kozar takes the turn, goes over to second base, and he's thrown out at second. And it's a good play by Mapes once again. 2 big plays there by Mapes in center field. And now the batter is Sam Dente, who has a 1-1 count on him. There's a little hopper over to the right side, and Jerry Coleman's got it, flips over to first for the out, 2 away. Here's Buddy Lewis. Fouls one back, 0-1 now the count. And that misses, 1-1. And there's another fastball high, 2-1 now, and that's grounded outside of first, 2-2. Lewis digs that one out, and there's another foul. And Lewis is able to work the count full as Vic Raschi misses again. And here is the payoff pitch that's fouled back. We'll do it again, and there's another foul back. And we'll do this once more. And Raschi ends up missing. Lewis walks. Runner at first base with Eddie Yost coming up there. 2 outs now, bottom of the fifth inning. Still no score. Runner on first base, and Yost takes the ball, and there's ball 2 in tight. We're going to have him take this pitch. He's throwing it at first base, and now it's 3-0 as that one was high and tight, and we'll see if we can get another one. And there's ball 4, and Yost didn't even look like swinging. and that puts runners on first and second now for Paul Calvert. We're going to have Calvert take this first pitch and see, and there's a strike on the inside corner that Rashi finally pours in there. And Calvert ends up hitting a ground ball over to Jerry Coleman to second base and makes the play over to first for the out, and that does that. That was one of those plays where there was a question as to whether we should leave Calvert in or not, but it's too early for a pinch hitter, even with runners on first and second. Calvert's first pitch to Heinrich is lined by Kozar at second base into right field for a base hit, and Heinrich is the runner on at first base, and here is Cliff Mapes once again. The blog hero, Cliff Mapes, is a 1-1 count on him, and he chases one out of the strike zone 1-2 now, and that's inside 2-2. There's a sinker in the dirt, full count now on Mapes, and fouls one off, and he swings out and misses for the strikeout, third strikeout of the game for Paul Calvert. One out now for Gene Woodling. There's one outside, 1-0, and there's a base hit in the right field, and Henrich, with his speed, able to get all the way to third base, and that means that with one out here, we have Jerry Coleman coming up, runners on first and third, and we're going to be in on the corners. And there's a little ground ball over to shortstop to Dente, and we are not going to go home. We're going to try for the double play. Over to second for one, and over to first for the double play, and that gets Coleman out, and there is no score here going to the bottom of the sixth inning. And this is an exciting one. Here's Bud Stewart for Washington leading off. We haven't had much by way of big plays at the plate, though, I'll tell you that. It's been nothing but plays on the base paths. And Stewart socks one into right center field, fourth hit of the game for the Senators, and I think that's the first real base hit we've had all game. Here's Eddie Robinson now, and we are not going to hit and run this time. We're just going to play it straight. There's another throw over to first, nothing doing. There's a strike in on Robinson, another throw to first, nothing doing. And there's a line drive by Robinson between first and second, and that goes in there for a single. And Bauer's got the ball in right field, and we are going to play it safe here. Two straight base hits for Washington here in the bottom of the sixth inning. And we have Al Evans on now with two men on and nobody out, and we're going to swing away with Al. And there's a foul to the left side. 0-1 now the count on Evans. And there's one fouled by Brown at third base again, another one to the left side. And now there's a ground ball over to Rizzuto. He gloves it over to Coleman at second, then over to Henrich at first for the double play. And just like that, there are two outs for Clyde Fulmer. That's what happens. 1949 will kill you with the double plays. 1-1 now the count on Fulmer. And there's a ground ball by the mound, and Rizzuto's got it, and he makes the great play at first base. I tell you, Phil Rizzuto was such an awesome shortstop. What an amazing play there by Phil Rizzuto to end the inning. Top of the seventh inning now, no score. The Yankees get out of that jam, and here's Yogi Berra. 0-1 now the count on him. Now it's 0-2. Calvert gets ahead, and there's a ball. Calvert wasted the pitch, and there's a little pop fly up to shallow center field, and it's going to be Kozar making the catch, one out. Here's Hank Bauer now, one out, top of the seventh inning. And there's a ground ball over to Dente at short, and he's able to stop it, not able to get a hand on it, though. And Bauer is safe at first with a base hit, and that brings up Bobby Brown, runner on first base. Nobody, one out here, top of the seventh inning, one ball now to Bobby Brown. And there's one in there at the knees outside corner for a strike, 1-1 the count on Bobby. There's a sky-high shot there, center field. Fulmer's got it for the out, two away. Vic Rashi now, and they're going to leave him in the game. A little ground ball over to Kozar at second base. He handles it professionally over to first base for the out. We go to the bottom of the seventh inning now, and there's still no score, and there has not only not been any score, there's not been much of a challenge for a score here in this one. And Kozar hits a ground ball over to Rizzuto at short, and he makes the plays he always does over to first base for the out, one away. Here's Sam Dente. I tell you, the scooter there has been a little vacuum cleaner, a little hoover there. Dente gets the base hit over there to, I think that was the right side, or to straight center field that bounces in front of Mapes. And here comes Buddy Lewis, runner on first base, and the Senators have another chance here, maybe to do something. Sixth hit of the game for the Senators, and we're going to play this one straight again. And a couple throws to the bag, nothing doing, and there's a liner right to Coleman, who drops down to his knees and makes the catch, and Dente fortunately stays at first base. Two outs now for Eddie Yost, and he hits a fly ball out there to right field to Bauer, who makes the catch, and that does it. We go to the top of the eighth inning, still no score. And Phil Rizzuto hits a line drive over to right field to Lewis for the first out. Here's Tommy Henrich, and he hits a little ground ball over to third base, and Yost juggles it, bounces it, and then finally throws to first base for the out, two away. And here's Cliff Mapes now. And that was a ball to Mapes, and he hits one to right center field, and moves away from Fulmer, ends up shooting past him for a freak double. A freak double for Mapes here in the top of the eighth inning. Mapes has had all the luck so far this season. And then Woodling comes up there, and the first thing that happens is Paul Calvert hits him with the pitch. So two runners on here with two outs in the top of the eighth inning. Coleman hits one deep to left field that bounces just foul. 0-1 the count now. Liner over third base again just fell. He's getting around on Paul Calvert's pitches. 0-2 the count now. And there's a foul back, 0-2 still. And that one's low for a sinker. There's a ball 1-2, and that's low and outside 2-2 now. Another foul ball. And there's a good singer on there, and Coleman swings and misses for the strikeout. Another strikeout induced by Paul Calvert, who so far in this game has struck out 4, and he is the batter who comes up here first. Bottom of the 8th inning, no score in this one. Curveball misses, 2-0 now the count on him. Now it's 3-0. Vic Raschi having a hard time with his control. There is a fastball inside for a strike, 3-1 now. And that one's low, just maybe, they say, maybe that was low, and there's a walk, and here comes Bud Stewart, runner on first base, and that one is high. Berra catches it and prevents the runner from moving up. 1-1 now is the count as Stewart fouls one off, and now it's 1-2. There's a curveball outside, 2-2. And Stewart rips that one as a single to left field, hits the crud out of the ball. I guess he hit it hard, and we're not going to take any chances here with Calvert. And that puts runners here on first and second base, and it really is time now to slow this one down. I tell you, the Senators they were having a hard time getting base hits in the beginning of this game, but they've been threatening. They've been getting their hits. They've been threatening in just about every inning here going down the stretch. And this is the first time where I think that really they may have something going on. And it's amazing that this is still a scoreless game considering how well the Yankees have been swinging the bat. 10 hits for the Yankees, 7 for the Senators. No score in this game. Eddie Robinson comes up now. We're going to have him swing away because the double play doesn't hurt us that much. There's one high, 1-0 the count now to Eddie. And there's one away, 1-1 now on Robinson. And there's another fastball high, 2-1. That's in there for a strike, 2-2. And that was high, and it's a full count now on Eddie Robinson looking for that walk. And he clotheslines one into center field for the base hit. Bud Stewart is looking to go around third and perhaps to score after Calvert, and we'll send him home. Throw is wide, and Stewart slides in there safely. Robinson gets a double out of that one and gets 2 RBIs. And man, oh man, I tell you, the amazing thing about this Washington Senators team that has not won at all this season is that they are so close, oh so close here today with 2 runs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And is this it? Is this the day where they finally break the spell and win a game for the first time in this replay? This is exciting. You're not going to want to go away to miss what happens. My goodness. And we have nobody out now. Al Evans up there now. 0-1 the count on him, 1-1 now. And that one's high, 2-1. And he goes the other way to right field, and that gets Robinson to third, and it does. Runner on third base now for Clyde Fulmer. 1 out, bottom of the 8th inning, 2-0 Washington, 2-0 the count now. And it's 3-0 on Clyde. And he swings and misses for a strike, 3-1. And that one's lifted high and fouled just behind the Washington dugout, full count. There's a topper towards first. Robinson's not fast enough to score. And the ball gets away, sort of, from Henrik, but nothing quite enough for Robinson to make him play to the plate. And that means that we have 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. No errors, by the way, so far in this ball game that I just noticed. No errors at all, which is quite interesting because the way that this has been played, you would have thought that there'd be an error or 2 somewhere here. Kozar up there now takes a ball, 1-0 the count on him, and he reaches down for a fastball that he hits foul, 1-1. There's one outside, 2-1 now. There's a grounder up the middle, and Coleman makes the play, and he throws over to first base for the out, and that does it. We go to the top of the 9th inning, still 2-0 now, Washington. And here comes Yogi Berra, bottom of the lineup coming up here for the Yankees. There's a little ground ball over to Calvert for the first out, and just like that, there's 1 out. Here's Hank Bauer. Bauer can do damage, but the most he can do is get you 1 run. It's a 2-run advantage. 1-1 now the count on Hank. That one's outside, 2-1. And there's a ground ball over to Dente at short, and he drops it, and there's no play, and Bauer reaches on the air. And you knew that it was too good to be true. You knew that it wasn't going to be so easy. It would never be so easy to break this. 10 losses in a row for the Senators, and they can't have an easy win, can they? It has to be dramatic. It has to be something that comes down to the very end of the game, doesn't it? You knew that this was going to happen coming into this. Here's Bobby Brown for the Yankees. Are they going to hit him? Yes, they will. And he hits a fly ball out to center field. Fulmer's got it for the out. Bobby Brown has not been hitting at all this season, hitting now 182 on the season. He's actually hitting 200 today, 2 for 4. But in those clutch situations, man, he's not the guy you want up here. Here's Vic Raschi, and they're going to pinch hit for him. It's going to be Gus Nierhos. Gus is up there and takes a ball, 1-0. and there's a sinker, and he swings and misses for a strike, 1-1, and he swings again on that slider, 1-2. And there's a line drive to the left side, and Dente's got it for the out, and that does it. And ladies and gentlemen, the Washington Senators of 1949, for the first time in this replay, have won a game. And I'm pretty impressed. They do it despite being no hit for about 4 or 5 innings there. They do it in style. They do it despite giving up an error and despite giving up 10 hits. It's a shutout for Paul Calvert, who gave up 10 hits along the way. Didn't look good doing it, but it all looks the same in the box score, doesn't it? And I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.